5, we've got this beautiful picture of houses and palm trees, and it's kind of just dumb because they laid a triangle on top of it. But what we're trying to find here is the altitude that's cutting through the middle of it. We've got a large triangle that's got the hypotenuse of 107.5, and then the sides of that large triangle are 76 and 76. Now, when we've got this altitude cutting through, we have to recognize that this side, which is the base of the large triangle, is also the hypotenuse of this small triangle here, and that's going to help us. Okay, so the way that we can do this is to set up a proportion. So I'm going to take my numerators up top here in these two proportions. I'm going to say that this is going to be the large triangle on the top, and a small triangle is always going to be in the denominators. And I'm going to put this first ratio as my hypotenuse. So this would be the hypotenuse of the large triangle, this would be the hypotenuse of the small triangle. And over here, this is going to be the leg of the large triangle and the leg of the small triangle. So when I identify those things and look at the large triangle and I find the hypotenuse of that large triangle, it's going to be 107.5. If I look at the small triangle, and in this case it doesn't really matter which one because the small triangle each has a hypotenuse of 76. Let's kind of focus on this just for the sake of making sure we know what we're looking at. That hypotenuse is 76 in this case. So now if I look at, again, the large triangle and the leg, here's the large triangle, the leg of that large triangle is 76. And if I'm looking at the leg of this small triangle, that's this one right here, which is the altitude. I don't know what that is. That's what I'm trying to find. So I'll label that as X. So now I've got a proportion, and I can do my cross multiplying and say that 76 times 76 is going to be the same as 107.5 times X. And I just get my calculator out. I find out that 76 times 76 is 5,776. That's set equal to 107.5x. I can get x by itself by dividing both sides by 107.5. And when I do that, I get x equal to 53.7. That's the rounded value. I think there's a few extra decimals on that. And I look back up here and kind of question, does that make sense that that would be about 53.7? Yeah, that makes sense. That fits into the ballpark of an estimation. And that's the value for that altitude.